Hi, I'm Shauna. This is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I make videos about living well. At the moment, I feel like I'm massively living well because I'm following my dreams and on a massive adventure hiking the length of Israel. I'm currently in the desert, about 2 weeks before the end of my trip, and it has been so good so far. So do have a look back at my other videos if you want to see what I've been up to on this hike. I can't even remember the last time I vlogged. I think it was over a week ago, and I think I said, oh, I'm going to vlog tomorrow, and I didn't. But it can be tricky with battery when you're on the trail, and also just mental capacity and dealing with hiking every day and filming. But I'm keen to film as much of the last stretch as possible. I've just had a couple of days off in Mitzvah Ramon in the desert, and I'm feeling a bit refreshed and ready to take on the next section. I had to miss another chunk. I've missed quite a lot of little bits on the trail and had to jump past on the bus, but there were flash flood warnings the day I was due to walk into the big crater, and it's 2 days of walking down into the big crater, and I was running behind on my schedule. I was planning to get the bus ahead a day or two to catch up anyway, but if I got down into the crater the next day I wouldn't have been able to do it, so I ended up jumping off the trail a little bit early, hitchhiking to the nearest town, and then getting a bus here to Mitzvah Ramon. Really great town, lots of restaurants, lots of vegan friendly places, but yeah, definitely glad to get back out into the wild. The desert has been the most exciting, the most challenging part so far, and I have about 2 weeks left all across the desert. Okay, I found where the trail goes down into the crater. There are 5 craters in the Negev Desert where I am now, and yeah, they're just enormous and so striking and breathtaking. Even the one I was in the other day that's called the small crater, it's huge. But anyway, because I'm vlogging today, I'm going to put my walking poles away on the back of my backpack and then head down. I've really loved starting walking with walking poles because I wasn't doing that before, and it's really made a difference. But when I'm vlogging, it's not easy, but rest assured, I am loving them. I'm heading down into the crater, and it's very rocky underfoot, but I'm taking a little bit of a cheeky shortcut because you've got the Israel National Trail, the official route, but there are also other marked trails, and in the red book, the official guide says if I follow the green trail, it will give me a little shortcut and I will be able to cut a little bit off the trail, make the day a little bit shorter. So again, not for hiking purists, but I am happy with that. I think the day was due to be about 24 kilometers, so with the shortcut it will be about 19, and to be honest, that's about my ideal. I really like kind of a solid 20-kilometer day. That feels like my optimum hiking distance. Oh, I cannot tell you how good it is to be back in the desert again after a couple of days off. I feel so good and so alive, and it's just absolutely beautiful here. And this is where I come into my own, just being on my own, walking every day, because I've been hiking with someone else for most of the last week, and I just feel like, you know, that was all well and good and that was nice, but when I'm on my own, just walking through the desert, it's just me and nature and connection. I feel so connected and happy, and this is just how I'm meant to be. It feels like the very definition of living well. You know, I just get up and all I have to do all day is hike and eat and take care of myself, and it's just such a beautiful way of life, and really has given me a taste for through hiking, and I hope I get to do more in this short lifetime I have. I've been walking into this crater from up here down here for about half an hour, and I've barely gone anywhere, and I have a long way down still to go. Okay, great. I seem to have rejoined the Israel National Trail after that shortcut, which I'm very pleased about because I wasn't entirely sure it would join up. Well, I'm officially down in the crater at the bottom, and I've realised how shallow this crater is compared to the ones I was dealing with last week. So from the top it looks like a huge crater, and I think there's a big expanse of it. But last week was just mind-boggling. There was one day where we'd gone down into the crater and it'd been a huge challenging descent, and then we had to go up again at the end of the day, and it was going to be getting dark in like an hour and a half. So really had to make sure we were up in time, and it was the most challenging ascent with these sheer cliff drops and lots of bars and ladders, and it was basically like an obstacle course up a vertical cliff face. And it was fun, it was challenging, it was quite overwhelming, and there was one point where I ended up thinking, oh, I'm not on the path, and there's this big drop next to me, and I kind of somehow veered off the path. But yeah, we got up before dark, and yeah, that was a huge relief, because you do not want to have that kind of drop next to you when you can't see properly. But yeah, this one is not as big, but it's such a beautiful area. Really, really stunning. Oh, I love the desert. I'm just taking a little pause. My back shoulder blade's hurting. I feel like I've banged on about that in every single vlog I've made, but it's not getting better, and I think it is getting worse. Even when I rest, it just doesn't seem to get better. But you know, just regular rest and breaks and it will be okay. I'm also, yeah, feeling just a bit silly, because I thought I'd gotten quite good at rest day admin and all the kind of trail logistics, and usually I'll make a list of all the things I need to do, and I didn't do that this time. And I had a couple of days and I did bits I need to. I washed my clothes. I actually got some new clothes. This t-shirt and the socks I'm wearing came from a hostel, from leftover from guests, because my socks were just deathly disgusting, and my t-shirt had so many holes and was so ripped I basically had my boobs out. So I was really pleased to do that. But yeah, getting back on the trail today, I realized there's some really basic things that I'd intended to do that I didn't. So this is a good story actually, and I haven't shared it on here. Last week I was camped in quite a secluded spot, and I'd gone to bed really early, about 7:30, and then I woke up about 10:30 and I heard rummaging in my bag, and I was like, oh, is that a fox, a jackal? And I saw these two animals and I couldn't quite place them. Then I realised they were porcupines. There were porcupines going through my stuff, trying to eat my food, and then I was shoving them away, but also just totally in awe of them because I'd never seen porcupines. I mean, I didn't even know porcupines lived in the desert. I didn't know anything about porcupines. So I wasn't that pushy about getting them out, but I kept trying to shoo them away. One of them was a bit more shy, but the other was really, really chopsy and ballsy and just kept coming forward. I'd be like, please go away. I would just come back, keep going through my stuff. But yeah, essentially I ended up chewing through my 3-litre water bladder, which had been such a help to me because it means I can drink through the tube while I'm walking and I don't have to take my backpack off to have some water, and it just wasn't salvageable, so I ended up having to throw it away. And I have 2 1-litre bottles as well, which I have full, but I totally meant to get a new bottle when I was on my rest day. And now I still only have the 2 litres because I forgot, and that's all I was able to fill. And that is fine, and I'm going to get more tonight. I've got a water caching service where someone's dropped me off some water for tonight, and then I'll have a bigger bottle and I'll be able to walk with 4 litres. But it just seems, I mean, water, it's a really obvious thing. I was struggling with it the day before I stopped walking, and I just didn't think of it. And also the porcupines chewed through my coffee cup. It is still just about usable, but it's not in great condition. And I forgot to get a new cup. I totally intended to get a new cup, and this is just really basic stuff. And yeah, I didn't make a list, and I just get frustrated with myself at how disorganized I am, because on trips like this, organisation is everything. And I think the people who thrive the most on adventures are the people who are really methodical and organised and have a process for everything. That said, I'm really proud of how I've done so far, given that I do struggle with organisation and logistics and all that kind of thing. I think I've done very well for me, but yeah, this water thing is not ideal. It's a nice walk today, but I'm finding myself feeling a bit under the weather. I'm walking at the hottest part of the day, which is normal, but usually I get a good couple of hours in the morning before it gets really hot. And because I wanted to get the hostel breakfast this morning before I left my rest day stop, I headed off. It was a little before 10 AM, so it's already really hot by then. And yeah, I'm thirsty, but I'm rationing my water, and yeah, got a bit of a stomach ache. Don't really know what it is. I guess just the heat of the day and feel a bit dehydrated. Yeah, just to say it's not all sunshine and rainbows out on the trail. Sometimes it feels really tough. However beautiful it is, however remote and wild it feels, it's not easy. Oh. I found the I found the tiniest patch of shade to sit in, because there is very little in this desert and I'm in need of a pause. There was a lovely tree back there, but it was already taken up by other hikers and I didn't feel like being sociable. So here I am, feeling really drained, but I'm just gonna sit, have some water. It feels like lunchtime, but I'm not hungry. I had quite a big breakfast at the hostel, and I'm just reflecting a lot on this trip and how much has happened, and that there's less than 2 weeks to go. In 2 weeks I'll be done with this hike. I'll still be in Israel, but I'll be done hiking, and that feels really surreal, and I just want to make the absolute most of the last section I have left and soak up every little bit, even the hard bits, even when I'm struggling, because I am so grateful to be here. Okay, I've got about 10 kilometers to go until the camp spot this evening, and if the terrain stays just a path and relatively flat and not too rocky, that should take me about 2.5 hours or maybe a little bit more. But if it gets really challenging on the terrain or there's big climbs, it could be much, much longer. So who knows what the desert's going to throw at me. Okay, it feels like I might be about to climb a mountain, but maybe it's just going in between them. We shall see. Oh yeah, it is a bit of an ascent. Climbing up there, I see people here climbing up a river, a dried up river, woody, and then we'll be there. Well, I climbed all the way up there, and now I have the most beautiful views all around me. Well, as is so often the case on the Shvil, they took me up the hill just to take me straight back down again. Anytime the Shvil can take you up a hill or take you a more complex route, it will. It's its little joke to all the hikers. But it was a very, very beautiful view at the top of the hill, so I'll let them off the hook on that. And I was just looking at the elevation, and there's another peak that kind of looks similar, taking you straight up to take you straight down. But yeah, it's not too bad, it's not too strenuous, and I'll climb anything for a good view. That was a bit of a gnarly descent, and I did manage to slip over, but I didn't hurt myself at all, which is a plus. Oh, I don't know if I'm going the right way. Yes, I am. Some of this trail is way more rock climbing and scrambling than it is hiking. But we love an adventure. Oh. Okay, I said the last descent was gnarly. I think this is harder. It's just very wibbly wobbly. I have about 6 kilometers to go until camp, and it feels like it was hours ago that I said I had 10 kilometers to go, which means I've covered the last 4 kilometers very slowly, which makes sense because I was going up the mountain and then climbing down some really technical descent. Yeah, it's going slow today. Oh, this bit's really particularly beautiful. There's a tap here, which I need. I really need water today. I've been having to really ration. I have booked a water cache for where the campsite is tonight because it was on the app. There are comments on water taps and this one was sometimes out of order and I didn't want to risk being without water. So I do have more coming, but I'm going to fill up now and I'm so excited. Feeling the utter joy of the heavier pack now I've filled up my water, but still it's much better than being thirsty or dehydrated. I guzzled that water there and I'll have plenty for tonight as well. I see the campsite. It's looking quite busy. I see tents up, I see cars. Not my favourite when it's busy, but it also does give me a little bit more of a sense of safety knowing there's other campers around, so I won't complain too much. And I'm absolutely exhausted. I only had a couple of hours sleep last night because I'd had a bit too much coffee and I stayed up and I was really inspired by loads of things I was getting excited about for the future and for after the hike, and I just ended up kind of doing lots of planning and thinking, and yeah, I was kind of in this really focused place thinking about next year and what I'm going to do with the rest of my sabbatical, but as a result, and hiking all day, I'm exhausted now, so I'll probably zonk out as soon as I get to the campsite and get my tent up. Nice to be here, safe and sound. I'm going to get my tent up and get some rest. I'm just going to find my water cache. I've ordered 4 litres for tonight. I use the company NEGEV Trails because there's a few providers who will hide water for you in the desert, and I've heard with some of them wobbles about people not being able to find their water or poor communication, and these guys NEGEV Trails have been really, really good, and I've heard only good things about them. And basically they send you a video showing you where the water is hidden and a pin dropped in that location, and then you just pay in advance and then there you have it. Okay, I'm following the video and I think I see where the water is hidden, which was quite quick to find the other day. Oh, maybe that's not it. Yeah, the other day I was looking for about 20 minutes, and it was because I'd come off the trail from a different angle to where the video had been filmed. Yes, excellent stuff. I've got the goods. And there... is there any water? Okay, that appears to just be rubbish. Well, this isn't good. It's not restocked. I did only order it yesterday, short notice, but usually in the other ones there've been loads and loads stocked up so that whoever's coming, there's plenty, and then it just gets done en masse. One time there was a separate bin for rubbish, so I'm just wondering if that's what's happened. But it doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm gonna have to send him a message. Well, this is not ideal. Okay, I think we have a solution. I messaged Yanir, who does the water drops, and I told him there was no water there, only rubbish. And I got an auto response on the WhatsApp message because it's Shabbat, it's a Friday afternoon, evening, so no one's working, it's their weekend. But he did respond anyway. He responded straight away saying, our driver will be there in an hour. And that is service. On a Shabbat, when everything shuts down, they're making it happen. I won't count my chickens before they've hatched because I don't have the water, and I've got plenty from where I filled up just before. But yeah, really, really pleased to hear they're going to come restock, and all will be well. Good morning, it's the next morning and I'm just sorting out my water. He did deliver it last night, but I didn't actually come back to the spot and pick it up. So I'm here, it's fully restocked, I've got my water, but I'm having the really annoying issue that my phone charger has stopped working and I have the tiniest bit of battery left. I've been using my phone to navigate. It's okay, I'll just use maps today, but it's just like arranging trail angels and figuring things out. It's so useful to have the phone, and I'm a bit stressed about not having it to use, but we'll see what happens. I was contemplating trying to get to a road and get to a petrol station and see if I could buy another one, but I don't think there's anything near. So I've set off and I'm realizing how rusty my map skills are. I mean, I'm fine, it's just I've gotten so conditioned to being able to see where I am on the map through the app. And I'm looking at this map thinking I'm walking down the right road, but looking for some trail markings. And I really need these trail markings to convince me because I haven't seen any. Oh, I see some markings. Okay, we're good. I was looking at the map going, I'm sure this is the right way, but not seeing any trail markings to validate my belief. So I was going to make this a 2-day vlog and carry on vlogging for the day, but I actually think I'm going to end it here because I need to concentrate on the navigating. That is a very, very important thing to get where I'm going. So I'm going to end it and hopefully share a bit more in a couple of days. But thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you for being here and have a lovely day. Bye.